All right. Thank you all for coming out. This is great. I really appreciate it. It really, really means a lot to me. So decisions, right? We all make decisions in this life about where we want to go, what we want to do, what we want to see. Some of us, we make, great decisions. You want to get from point A to point B. You make a whole bunch of logical decisions. And I just want to say there's nothing wrong with a little stability. That's great. That is absolutely great. But others of us, we like to roll the dice a little bit, where you don't know what the outcome is going to be. Sometimes the outcome is great. Other times, not so great. It's all about what you want to experience in this life. And that's where I'm going to start tonight with this first story. So a lot of people, they have bucket lists, things that they want to do in this life, things that they want to see. Well, when I was younger, my bucket list was just a couple of vague adjectives. I wanted it rare, and I wanted it strange. I wanted to have experiences when you were in the middle of it, you look around, you think, you know what? Not everyone gets to do this. That's all I was chasing, man. That's all I was chasing. When I was 24 years old, I was still chasing. See, I was down in Northern California. I was checking out Humboldt State University. I was thinking about switching schools. And girlfriend and I, we'd driven down and we'd taken a tour of the campus. Beautiful campus, beautiful campus. And after the tour, we decided to take a hike through the redwoods. So we drove a little north and we found this trail that led down to the beach. And we're hiking amongst the giant sequoias, and we get down to the beach, and there's a herd of elk on the beach. The mist is rolling through in waves, and I'm thinking, man, it's like this might be the place. This might be the place for me. So that evening, we rented a room at this cheap motel in Eureka, rather shady kind of place, kind of fit our budget. So it's like 8 o'clock in the evening or so. We're laying on the motel bed watching some crappy TV movie, and we've left our door cracked open to let in a little fresh ocean air. Well, there's a knock at our door. Bonk, bonk. And then the door swings open, and this woman steps into our room. Now, I'm not passing judgment here. I am not passing judgment, but this woman was definitely a prostitute. And this woman, she looks down at us and she says, "Hey, you guys smoke rock?" Now, I'll be honest with you. I did not smoke rock. But I was thinking, how often does a prostitute walk into your motel room and ask you if you smoke rock? That just never happens. And I recognized it right away. This is a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. So I look over at my girlfriend with these pleading eyes like, please let this happen. And she's looking back at me like, And I'm like, give her my biggest, most pleadingest eyes, like, please let this happen. And she succumbs. She gives me the nod, like, fine, have your weird night. So I say to the woman, hell yeah, come on in. So the woman, she closes the door behind her, and she looks down at me, and she's like, you got $40? So I reach in my wallet, and I hand her two 20s. She stuffs those into her purse, and she's digging around in there, and she pulls out this little glass pipe and this plastic bag in. She stuffs it full and hands it to me with a lighter. Now, I have no idea what I'm doing, so I just light it like you would smoking weed, and she's looking at me like I'm nuts. She takes it away from me, and then she shows me how it's done. I didn't know what I was doing. So it's light flame, little twisty of the pipe, and you only inhale the smoke into your mouth, like you would a cigar. So she breathes out this dragon cloud and then hands the pipe back to me. And this time I do it right. And I don't know if you guys know this, but crack's got a real kick to it. I mean, like a real kick to it. So, we start passing the pipe back and forth, and we start having a good time, and I start asking this woman about her life. And man, being a sex worker and smoking a lot of crack, that is a hell of a way to collect a very unique set of stories. So I'm listening to it, and I'm just loving it, listening to her stories. And after a while, she says, hey, would it be all right if my friend came over? And I say, absolutely. Girlfriend, she looks over and she gives me the stink eye. But after like 15 minutes, 15 minutes later, her friend shows up. So now there's 2 prostitutes in our motel room. So I shell out another $40. Pipe starts getting passed around again. Everyone starts having a good time. And these women are telling some wild stories. And then the women, they team up on my girlfriend. It's like a bad drug commercial from the 90s. They're just using good old-fashioned peer pressure. And good old-fashioned peer pressure, it works. Girlfriend, she takes a hit. So now we're all in the game. We're all in the game. And then the women, they ask, hey, would it be all right if our pimp, he's also kind of our dealer, would it be all right if he came over? And I say, absolutely. Look over my girlfriend, see what she thinks, and she gives the thumbs up. So like 15 minutes later, the pimp/dealer, he shows up. He comes into our motel room, and he sits down on the bed next to me. So, I shell out another $40. Pipe starts getting passed around again. Everyone starts having a good time, and I'm asking them about their lives, and they are telling some wild stories, just some wild stories like I never heard before. And I have that moment, my bucket list moment. I'm looking around the room, and I'm thinking, not everyone gets to do this. Not everyone gets to do this. So we're hanging out, and we keep hanging out, having a good time, and I keep asking them about their lives, and the pimp/dealer, he's sitting next to me. So I start asking him about his life, and he's happy to share, and he's telling these wild stories, and I'm high as a kite, and I'm like, then what? And then what? And he's telling these stories, and after a while, he just stops, and he's like, you do not seem like a typical crackhead. So I tell him, like, first time. And then, I think he could tell from my unorthodox behavior that I was telling the truth. And this guy just thinks that's absolutely hilarious, just hilarious. So he reaches into his pocket, personal stash, pulls out a plastic baggie, stuffs the pipe full with like this huge rock, free of charge, man, free of charge. So I hit that shit hard. And here's a little word of advice. If you're using a drug that you are not familiar with for your first time use, is don't be the person who talks a lot. Be the person who asks a lot of questions. Everyone's going to have a much better experience that way. So I'm sitting there with them, hanging out, and they just keep telling these wild stories, and I'm listening and loving it. I'm just overwhelmed with that feeling, like not everyone gets to do this. So we hang out till like 3 in the morning or so, party actually, it's got to end sometime. So we say goodnight to our new friends, they leave, and then girlfriend and I, we go to bed. Bit of a restless night of sleep, to say the least. And then I wake up in the morning, and man, when I wake up in the morning, all the chemicals in my brain, all the dopamine, all the serotonin, all the norepinephrine, all the chemicals in my brain, they are just gone. I mean, gone. So I do what I normally do when I have a deficit in life. I went fishing. Girlfriend and I, we packed up, and we went and camped on the Trinity River for the next 3 days. And it took 2 whole days of fishing. 2 whole days of fishing just to get my brain back online. Brain was telling me, like, yeah, you probably don't want to start doing a lot of that. I was like, agreed, Brain, agreed. Brain and I, we agreed on this one. Now, I'm not telling this story tonight to promote drug use in any way. Not at all. All I'm saying is that if a prostitute randomly walks into your motel room one evening, the least that you could do is invite them in and ask them a few questions about their lives. Because the stories that they will tell you, they are worth listening to.